Alright, what's up everybody out there? Hope you guys are doing alright. Aaron here with another deck profile for you guys. Now, okay. I have done this deck before, and it is complete. It is different also. And I'm using my favorite, this is my favorite deck out of all. Monarch. Monarch, fun deck. I love it. My number one deck. Now, particularly, let's say you were only allowed to have one deck. What would be the only one deck you would want to play? Out of all decks that were ever created, what would be your number one deck? Your only one deck you could play. Rather if it's just you're playing Blue Eyes, that's your only deck you're going to be playing. You're going to play Ritual, that's the only deck you're going to be playing, Ritual. If you were to play Dark Magician, I guess only a Dark Magician deck is what you can have. 6 Samurai, only 6 Samurai. Tri-Brigade, only Tri-Brigade. Gladiators, only Gladiator. Necross, only Necross. Yeah, you've seen those decks that I've done before. Well, not 6 Samurai and everything, but I'm just, describing to you guys exactly like what would be the only one deck you would use. For me, it would be Monarch. Tributed deck, fun deck, I love it. Not a top tier deck, but it can go against those top tier decks. It is possible to use this deck and go against them. So yeah, this is completely different than those other decks I've done before. You've possibly seen those that I have done the, going a little Kaiju way, going a little Dark Arm way, going a little, well, you get the idea of what I've done with this. This deck is completely way different. So, there is no Kaiju in here, there is no Dark Arm Dragon in here, there is no Chaos, BLS, Black Luster Soldier. There's nothing like that in here. So, how I made this, completely way different. And there's a tech card in here, and it's a bit, yeah, like I said, it's a bit different. So, further ado, here we go. My number one deck out of all. So, you go with Ether, the Heavenly Monarch. You only really want to go 2 with this one. It's not considered the best Monarch out of all. But what's interesting about the Monarchs is that these Monarchs, even though if they're level 8, you can tribute them by 1 tribute as long as you're tributing a tributed monster that you have on the field. What's interesting about these Monarchs, it can be done by 1 tribute as long as you're tributing a tributed monster. Now, Ether the Heavenly Monarch has 2 effects. First effect, when it's on the field, sent. You send away 2 magic or trap of different names of Monarch in its name. From your deck, send it to the graveyard. Then, as this card resolves, it lets you special summon out a monster with 24 or more attack and 1000 defense. So that's most likely a Monarch, what you're going to be doing. And there's another monster I put in here where it does almost the exact same thing. And you special summon that. That monster that you special summon, the effect's negated. End phase, it returns right back to your hand. That monster that you chose from Ether. It can bring out itself, so you can go Ether into playing Ether. Now, if I brought out this Ether, this effect will not go. This effect did go. It returns right back to my hand. Its other effect, and this is what makes it so awesome. This is what makes Ether so awesome. Then, during your opponent's main phase, if this card is in your hand, so if it's in your hand, you can banish 1 spell or trap, banish them. What you can be doing is you can banish 1 spell or trap card from your graveyard. Immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon. Awesome effect to do if it's in your hand. So yeah, Ether, back to my hand. On my opponent's main phase, remove a magic or trap. Immediately you summon it out. Of what tributes you need to be doing, rather if it's by a 2 tribute or a 1 tribute. And there you go. And then the effect once again. Ether, when it's summoned out, send away 2 magic or trap of different names of Monarch that's in your deck, send them to the graveyard, special summon a monster with Ether's effect, effects negated, end phase, goes back to your hand of the monster you chose from Ether. Then there's Erebus. Erebus is the one I would use 3. So it's Ether and Erebus. Erebus is considered the better one than Ether. Cause, okay, Erebus does the exact same thing. Of the effect of you sending, when this is summoned out, it can be done by one tribute also. So all the big Monarchs can be done by one tributed if they're tributed by a tributed monster. Unless you're gonna sacrifice, unless you're gonna do a double tribute. Now, it has the effect of Ether, which is, send away a magic or trap of a different name from your deck, send it to the graveyard. Now, Erebus' effect is way more better, because after that effect resolves, then you're gonna get the effect of Erebus, which is you choose a card from your opponent's hand, field, or graveyard. It'll return right back. Now here's the thing, Erebus does not target. So you can hit those monsters, your opponent's monsters that are on the field that say you cannot target them. No, you can hit them because it does not say on the text you can target. No, does not say it. So then you shuffle one card from your opponent's hand at random in the graveyard into the... So once per turn, during either player's turn, if this card is in your graveyard, discard... Okay, that's the other effect, but the main effect is, you can tribute this card by doing a one tribute, as long as you're tributing a tributed monster. If this card is tribute summon, you can send 2 spell trap monster with different names, like I just said, from your hand, deck, or to the graveyard. And if you do, shuffle one card. See, you choose one, but it did not say you target. It does not target because it does not say you can only target. It does not say target. It's just choose a card. So even you can hit those big monsters that they possibly have out of a Link, Synchro, Fusion, whatever. Even the back row, if you wanted to hit the back row, you can do that as well. There's different kind of Monarchs. That all depends how you want to play. You want to play... There's Mobius, which is... If you're going to play Mobius, that's destruction of the backfield. If you're doing Caius, that's sending cards back to the deck. If you want to take cards away from your opponent, that's the Stalos. If you want to destroy cards on the field, monsters, that's a board. But I play Banish. What you want to banish and be using is Caius. Now this is the Mega Caius. This is not the original Caius, the Mega Caius. And I told you, the big Monarchs, including Mega Caius, they could be done by a one tributed, as long as you're tributing a tributed monster that you have on the field. So it could be done by one tributed. Then, if this card is tributed, banish one card on the field. Does not matter. And your opponent would take 1,000 points of damage. Now, here's the thing. If you hit a monster, one of your opponent's monsters, and if it was a dark monster, your opponent's going to lose those copies of that monster. And that's the way it goes. So, for example, we're talking about Dark Magician, since we know that's a dark. If you hit a Dark Magician your opponent has on the field, banish it, they will lose the Dark Magicians. Banish them, they banish them all. So then, there you go. Dark Magician, they lose all the copies of Dark Magician, and they would take 1,000 points of damage. Now, the other thing about Caius, if you tributed a dark, so let's say Erebus, tribute, and you go into Caius, you'll get double. You can banish 2, but it's still going to be 1,000 points of damage. It can't be like, your opponent's going to take 2,000. No, it's still 1,000, but you'll get 2 banishes. You'll get 2 shots. And that's what I love about, and I like to play Caius, because Caius, first, he's my number 1 Monarch. I love Caius. Caius is my number 1 Monarch out of all. And then when they made a Mega, that was like, alright, no, I gotta play the Megas. And these are just totally awesome. And my method a lot with Monarchs is you want to banish. I want to banish cards so they cannot play them. So what if you just alright, you just did destruction and you did destruction on a monster, but if they have like Monster Reborn or anything like that, they're going to be able to get those right back. I would rather banish them to make sure they cannot get them back. Because yeah, Zaborgias do destruction, so fine. Destroy a Dark Magician, fine. But if they had their ways of, you know, Eternal Soul, bringing one out, Monster Reborn, anything like that, they can bring those out. But I'd rather have them not have those copies and just not have. Pretty much, you get the idea. I would not want my opponent to have cards where they could possibly still have in their graveyard and bring those out. I'd rather have them banished so they cannot do it. So if your opponent depends on Dark Magician and only on Dark Magician, but you banished it instead of destroying it, your opponent's stuck. Because that's all they depend on, Dark Magician. What else can they do? Nothing else, possibly. If you're talking about Blue Eyes, okay, Blue Eyes is a light, but you are banishing, like, okay, they're the alternative or the Blue Eyes, but they depend on Blue Eyes. Alright, fine, yeah, they have ways of getting around that. But if, let's say, your opponent just depended on the 3 regular Blue Eyes White Dragons, and you banish one, what are they going to do with their... They need a third one, possibly. Or they can, you know, still use Blue Eyes Alternative. But what else do they got? Nothing else. Now, that's all for my big... That's all for the Monarchs. Now let's go with what's not Monarch. And what's so good about the Monarchs is, okay, what you're going to want to do with the Monarchs, they have a specialty. The Monarchs have a specialty type of way of playing this. You do not want your opponent to play from your extra deck. And this is how it's going to be done. Okay, first, Vanity's Fiend. You're going to want to play Vanity's Fiend. 3 of them. 3 Vanity's Fiend. Or 1 Tribute. So, okay, fine, 1 Tribute. Cannot be special summoned. Okay? So it must be Tribute summoned. Neither player can special summon monsters. If you're playing from your extra deck, you're special summoning. Vanity's Fiend. Neither player can special summon. There you go. What you are most likely doing is Tribute summoning. You're not playing an extra deck. Tribute summoning is not special summoning. So you have locked your opponent from special summoning. Maybe 24 attack. Who cares? Neither player can special summon. So 2 of those, and then 2 of the Majesties. Cannot be special summoned anyways as well. Alright, so what? Neither player can activate monster effects. That's going to hit you too, but hopefully that doesn't really affect you. That's why I go 2. Vanities 3, Majesties 2. So these are your 1 tributes. Now, okay, a little bit of what's going to help you tribute. And that is, okay, I was going the Yugioh and Yugioh way, but I'm not playing those way because those are pretty small monsters. No doubt, yeah, those are good effects to help you, you know, bring some out. But if you're Ash Blossomed or, you know, Infinite Permanence or Forbidden Droplet, whatever of those kinds that I know players will play on me, then you're stuck. So then I go with Mithra, the Vassal, Thunder Vassal. It can be special summoned from your hand anytime you want. It can be special summoned instantly. Then, there you go. Your special summon already. And then this is already going to help you get your summon. So Mithra 2. Then there's the Acromorphite. I believe that's the way you say it. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Okay, a pendulum, right? But here's the thing. First off, when you pendulum, if you have no cards from your extra deck, except Acromorphite, I believe that's the way you say it. Okay, which you don't. You can destroy this card, right? Destroy it. Then you draw 1 card. Then you can use the following effect once per turn. Cannot be normal summon or special. Here's the thing. If you have no cards in your extra deck, you can only special summon once per turn. So most likely what I mean is this. You're gonna pendulum. Put in your pendulum zone. Destroy it. Draw your 1 card. It revives right back onto the field. Tribute, another tribute you have as well. So activate. So let me put it to right here what I'm talking about. So pendulum zone. Destroy it. it gets removed from play, so it goes to your spell and trap card. It goes to your extra deck. My mistake. Pendulum go to your extra deck. Draw your own card. It revives right back for a tribute. And when it is tributed, it'll get banished. This is what you need for tributing. Then here's the tech card right here. Dark Samorg. Okay. Dark Samorg is the... Alright then, so Dark Samorg's my tech card. He's 1,000 defense. Okay. Now with Ether, it can bring out any monster when you're doing Ether's effect. Any monster with 24 or more. This is 27. And it must be 1,000 defense. Dark Samorg is 1,000 defense. You can bring out Dark Samorg. It does have a way of special summoning, but you can bring out Dark Samorg. When Dark Samorg's on the field, anytime it is on the field, your opponent cannot set any cards face down. That's what I love about it. Okay, tribute, summon. Your opponent cannot set anything, and it'll go back to my hand. It is a double tribute, but that's the whole point. Because I know a lot of times my friends would go, okay, main phase 2, I'm gonna set. But if I can do this on my opponent, yeah, tribute, summon out Ether, use Ether's effect, bring out Dark Samorg, main phase 2, I'm gonna set. No, when you have Dark Samorg on the field, which I do. Oh wait, no, the effect. Well, yeah, I'll just bring out Dark Samorg instead, and then revive back to my hand. So they know, because yeah, the effect could be negated. All right, fine, I'll bring out Dark Samorg. Then they know they're going against Dark Samorg. Okay, shit, what am I gonna do? So if that could be negated, like they can't set, okay, so they can still set whatever, but they know they're gonna go against a Dark Samorg. Or fake around it. You have Monarchs in your hand. So in my hand, I'll reshuffle my hand. He has Dark Samorg. Tribute, am I gonna play this? No, I'll play this instead. Banish. So yeah, when it comes to you have monsters, whatever, okay, okay, Dark Samorg in my hand, I'm gonna do this. So this would be my hand. Dark Samorg's right here, and they think Dark Samorg is here. No, Dark Samorg's right here. No, they're wrong. It's right here. So tribute. What happened to Dark Samorg? I just did not play Dark Samorg. I kept it in my hand, and I'll do the effects once again. And then when you have a huge boost up like right there, fine then. Now I'll play Dark Samorg. If you want to have some fun, do some tech cards. I love Dark Samorg. He's just an awesome, and he's 1,000. So it could be done from, so fine, even if the effect's negated, they know they're going to want to set cards automatically. And they want to stop Dark Samorg. But what else are you going to have to stop? You have to stop my Monarchs as well. Just have some fun. It may be a brick card, but I don't care. And then Dark Samorg is a dark. I want to have it as a tribute. Dark Samorg. I can go Caius, and then this was as a 1 tribute. Caius, 2 banishes. So just have some fun. I thought of not running it, but then I'm like, I'll just have some fun and I'll put it in. It may be a brick card, but I don't care, you know. Have some fun. I don't care if you brick your hand, you lose, you win. Just have some fun playing. That's all you gotta depend on. But I know a lot of people don't, because they just depend on the 1 win. Alright, so that's for monsters. Magic cards. Okay. Here we go. Domain. Automatic, you're gonna have this in the Monarchs. Because while you have no cards in your extra deck, which you do not, and you have a tributed monster on the field, your opponent cannot play from your extra deck. This is to lock your opponent. Monarch's specialty is to lock your opponent from playing anything from the extra deck. So even if you do not have domain, fine, you don't have domain. Domain is K. You cannot play from the extra deck. You can only special summon. Neither player can special summon. I have almost two ways. My Vanity's Fiend is almost the exact same way of Domain. Domain also gives you an extra tribute. So let's just say Ether, right? And you only have Morph, right? So yeah, destroy, draw, play. This is your one tribute, right? You can count this as another tribute. So here's your double tribute then. So tribute, activate, tribute. Now you have your Ether. As well as also it has the effect of all tributed monsters you have on the field. When they declare an attack, they get a boost up of 800 attack points. Only when they attack. And that's the way it goes. As long as you... okay, if you have no monsters and you just have Domain out, well then yes, your opponent can play from their extra deck. But the point is, when you have these out, no matter what they are, as long as you have tributed monsters, and let's say Majesties, but after Ether, it does not really matter if you have Majesties out then. It may stop the effect, but Ether's effect is already done. So even if you have Majesties, remember, if I have a tributed monster, which I do, monster effects cannot be activated. So your opponent, if they have monsters and they activate like cards, no, they cannot do it because Majesty's Fiend stops all effects from happening. Does affect you, but hopefully it doesn't do as much. And then it would only get the boost up if you attack. It's not like, you know, on your opponent's turn, it gains 800. No, it's only when they declare an attack. Alright then you got your draw power right here, Pantheism. The staple of the draw power of the Monarchs. Send away one spell trap card, including Pantheism of a Monarch. Send this away, draw 2 cards. If this card, and you can keep on doing this as much as you want. What you can only do once per turn is if this card is in your graveyard, you can move it from play. Reveal 3 magic or traps of whichever kind you want. Reveal to your opponent chooses one. The card that they chose goes to your hand. The other 2 shuffle right back. That's only once per turn. The draw power is as many times as you want. And this is what you want to do for Ether or Erebus. Set the Pantheism away, so then you can remove it from play, and then you're going to get whatever you want of your choosing. Then you got the Searcher of the Monarch's Tenacity. Reveal a monster with 24, 1,000 in defense, or 28 and 1,000. Add 1 spell or trap card. Remember, any, right? This can be, you can reveal Majesty's Fiend as well because it is 24,000. I just don't get why they didn't make Vanity's Fiend that. I mean, yeah, it is 24 and then only 12. Come on, they should have made it 1,000 also. As well as Dark Samora, it's 27, and this is 1,000. So it would have been done the exact same way for them, but no, they did not. Which sucks. I wish they could. Your Helper, your Stormforth is what you need. Once per turn, if you were to tribute a monster, then you activate this, not a target. Choose one of your opponent's monsters, including, or, for example, yeah, Domain. Like, let me get Domain. Monarch Stormforth, one of my opponent's monsters. So that's 1. Activate this as 2. Erebus. Does not target. Now, it is a quick play, so that means quick plays can go on either player's turn, right? Well then, it says with Monarch Stormforth, if you were to tribute, right? Now, particularly you need the trap card Escalation of the Monarchs, right? Because Escalation of the Monarchs lets you tribute on your opponent's turn, and you can use Monarch Stormforth. Well, there's another way you can do it. If you do not have the trap card, but you still want to do this on your opponent's turn, you can only do it by Ether, because it lets you tribute on that turn, on your opponent's, if you want to. So if you still want to use Monarch Storm 4th on your opponent without using the trap card, well then the only way you're going to be doing it is by Ethers. And then just one march, one return. March, activated on the field, continuous spell. Tributed monsters you control cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. You cannot special summon cards from the extra deck. You are not playing that, so it doesn't affect you. And then yeah, you know, Vanities, Majesties, and Dark Samork, they're tributed monsters. Is your helper right here. And then Return of the Monarchs, every single time you intend to do a tribute summon, you get to add from your hand. So yeah, a search, get yourself a monster with 24 or 28, so most likely Majesty's Fiend you can search for. Any of the Monarchs, you just can't search for Vanities or Dark Samork, because they didn't do that either. They should have, because then you could have searched for it. Other than that, it's your helper to get a monster. And then what I love about it is, like, okay, let's say you go Ether and you're summoning out Ether's effect to bring out a, okay, that's 2, right? This is gonna be like an extra monster you're gonna get automatically as well. So alright, Ether, special summon, effects negated, activate, tribute, I'll get Caius, back to my hand. That's 2 monsters out. So now your opponent's gonna think, which one does he really have, which one is he really gonna play? So I revealed, I chose Caius. Then they know I brought out Erebus, and it goes back to my hand. Do I want to play banishing them? Do I want to play banish first, or do I want to play sending a card first? That's like 3 monsters you're gonna have instantly straight like that, and I only use one of them. One I think it should only be doing. And then Book of Moons. Okay, no one really plays this, but I would, because you're gonna need this to put monsters face down, because then now you're gonna be able to do the effects of Caius, Erebus, put them all face down, and then you're gonna have your shots to be able to do anything. Now what sucks is you cannot put Link monsters face down, which I hate. Now it does target them, quick plays, so sometimes you want to do that and then put Storm 4th face down. So what are they really going to hit? Do they really hit Book, or do they hit Storm 4th? Then okay, this is another helper. No one really plays this, but I do. It's called Spell Card Soul Exchange. We know the original Soul Exchange, right? It's to take one of your opponent's monsters and then you play one of your own monsters and you cannot attack. Spell Card Soul Exchange is different. Immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon one monster, and you can tribute one of your own monsters even if it's not your monster. This is like Monarch Storm 4th, except Monarch Storm 4th is take away one monster. Soul Exchange, you take as many monsters as you want to do your tribute, and you can still declare an attack even if it's on your opponent, even if it's your turn. Like, okay, I'll take away, play what I want, and I can still attack if it's you know, yeah. So it's another helper to help you get some cards. Time to Morganite, it's a good one to use. Okay, this is for the rest of the duel. As soon as you play it, for the rest of your duel, apply the following effects. 1, you cannot activate monster effects from your hand. You're not playing that, so it doesn't affect you. 2, you can draw 2 cards instead of 1 on your next draw phase. So let's draw 2 cards instead of 1. And 3rd, you can conduct 2 normal summons normal summon sets per turn, not just one. You can banish this card from the graveyard, then discard one Time Tearing Morganite, and your opponent cannot activate monster effects the rest of the turn. So what? I'd rather just do this so you can get more. Draw more power. One is all you think you should be using. May look a bit slow, but it's not really. And then only one trap card. Prime. I was using two. One I think is all you need. It is a little helper also to special summon, because this is the main thing you're going to want to do with Ether or Erebus. Remember, send away 2. This is the combo you want to send away automatically. You do not really want Prime in your hand or on the field. If it's in your hand, hopefully you can Pantheism and send this away. You want these in your graveyard, because Prime is also, during either player's turn, once per turn, you can remove from play a magic card or trap, but this is the only trap of a Monarch. Special summon it as a token instantly with a 24 defense. Have another token out, and then here's your 1. You have domain, count your 2. You want these in your hand. And then there's the deck right there. It's just a so fun deck. No extra deck. If you're playing an extra deck, Monarch's not good for you. So much you can do with this deck. It is so fun, so awesome. I was using 3, but 3 Mithra, but then I took that out to put in Dark Samark. And then no one really does play this anymore. Or I haven't seen any Monarch players play Time Tearing Morganite or Spellcard Soul Exchange. It's just an interesting thing to do. Books, of course. And then Tribute. So the cost is remove from play a spell or trap and on my opponent's turn. And if I have Book of Moon or Monarch Storm Forth, okay. In my hand, remove Monarch Storm Forth since I have it in my hand, and that's the way I'm going to tribute. And bring out whatever I want. You just cannot bring out Majesties or Vanities, because they cannot be special summoned. The main combo piece you want to try to do is March of the Monarchs. And Domain. This is the main combo you want to try to get automatically. Get these 2 out. Because then when it comes, then you have your, whatever it's going to be. Like I'm just showing you Ether for an example. And hopefully you can pull this off instantly. Even if you're going first, try to get this off instantly, because then they have to, okay, Ether, do the effect, bring out whatever you're gonna bring. The effect's negated, and that card will go back to your hand. But then look already. First, you have a tribute monster. Your opponent cannot play from the extra deck, which is gonna be their turn. Next, they cannot kill this with card effects because of March. Your main big combo right here. If you could spice it up a little more, try to get return as well. This is the main combo piece. Domain, March, and then get a Monarch on the field. A +2 would be try to get return as well. Instantly try to get this automatically. Remember, the first thing you want to do is get this out. If you can get something else out, get return on the field as well. And then your little backup, if you don't have domain, but you still want to stop your opponent from playing anything, well then you go vanities. And they are tributed. So Monarchs, March of the Monarchs will prevent Vanity's Fiend or Majesty's Fiend or even Dark Simorgh. Since they're tributed monsters, they cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. And then just, yeah, remember, you're tributing, so this doesn't hit you. This is not gonna affect you. Vanities. Majesties will, but most likely Vanities, it's not. So you can just keep on going. Okay, Ether, and I have Vanities on the field. Okay, I can tribute. This is a 1 tribute. So yeah, 1 tribute. Erebus now. But this is tributing. This is not special. So I could have my Vanities Fiend on the field automatically. Like, okay, I could just have it on the field. Keep on doing whatever, search for whatever. Activate the effect. And if I did not have domain, but I have Vanities, and I have this, okay, I'll do the effect. My monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. Well, can be destroyed by battle, but cannot be destroyed by card effects. So Raigeki, Dark Hole, anything like that? No. Black Rose Dragon, blow up the entire field? Okay, fine, this is all gone, but this stays. And then yes, there you go. I'll search for whatever I want. And then yeah, a little tech card right here, I put in Dark Simorgh. Then just, yeah, a fun deck. Before I wasn't thinking of putting it in, but I just thought like, alright, you know what, let's just have some fun, let's put it in. It's just like Vanities. They are 1,000, but okay, yeah, Vanity's Fiend does have the same attack and of what you would possibly need for an attack monster of 24, 28, and 1,000 defense. It's 12,000 defense. And then 1,000 defense, yes. 28 attack or 24? No, Dark Simorgh is 27. But yeah, Monarchs, I love to death. Like I'm just telling you, if you could only if you were to play the game, and you can only have one deck, what would be the one deck that you would choose? If you would write down in the comments, what is your number 1 deck you would only play? For me, Monarchs. Others I know, they will possibly say, you know, Dark Magician, a Blue Eyes deck, a Red Eyes deck, only a Stardust deck. All right, so what would be your number 1 deck you can only play? For me, it's Monarchs. Not a top tier deck, but it is a deck that can compete against those top tier decks. It may look a bit powerful or not, but I'm not trying to make it powerful. It may look powerful because, yeah, of how powerful these monsters are and what the effects you can do with them. But I'm not playing those competitive cards. They can go against these competitive cards. The only thing that's going to stop the Monarchs is, of course, just watch out when it comes to when it comes down to playing Ibiru, I believe that's the way it is. Ibero. And there you go. There you have it. Ash Blossom. They're going to Ash Blossom my Erebus. Okay, fine. From Erebus using the effect. Okay. But I have so many other options I got. So sometimes they're going to go, okay, Erebus, they're going to want to stop. They're going to want to stop Vanities. Okay, but when you have your extra monsters you got, they just possibly wasted all their stuff. So, or they're going to Ash Blossom Pantheism. Okay, fine. You stop the draw power, but I can remove it from play and I can search for whatever I want. What you could do also, like, okay, you go Vanities, right? I can do this. Choose one of my cards to get to my hand. Even if I just did, okay, Tenacity, Monarch Storm Forth. You have to choose one. Fine, they'll let me choose Tenacity, fine. Reveal. Monarch Storm Forth, I'll get to my hand. Even if they did not choose Monarch Storm Forth. You can go Domain. And that's the specialty with the Monarchs. You are going to stop your opponent from playing from the extra deck. And you do not play an extra deck with Monarchs. Fun deck. I love it. It's a very cheap deck, to tell you the truth as well. And Monarchs can go against those competitive decks. Even if you're not playing the competitive cards, they can go against those cards. As long as you know how to play the Monarch deck completely correctly. It's not a big deck, and yeah, it is like it's considered like the #1 best tributed deck out of the entire game. So yeah, this is Monarchs now, of what I'm telling you, my #1 favorite. Alright, test hands will be coming next of this deck. I'll be speaking to y'all later. Peace.